People, deluded, a quick one. Now, last season, I said we're still learning a lot about Arteta. He's learning a lot about himself, you know. I don't know how long he's going to be at this club, but, you know, from whenever he first walked into this club to whenever the day comes he departs, his managerial ethos is going to change. Things he thought were central to his coaching philosophy, he might deem irrelevant. Things he deemed irrelevant, they're central. You know, the sort of profile of player, how he wants to play, all of these sort of things, they will evolve. And like I said, Arteta's still learning a lot about this role and the job. It's new territory for him. And he's learning a lot about himself and these players. So I cut a lot of excuses and things like that for him. And I do sympathise. But we have to keep it true. You know, the same way I praise him for, you know, how we've set up in big games. You know, we've looked decent in big games, whether we've won, lost or draw. I've seen some sort of method to a madness. I've seen freedom within a framework. I've seen a manager to believe in. Like I said, time will tell as to if he's going to prove able to get us back into the top four. I think he's the man to at least give the opportunity, because he's shown me a lot. But by the same token, you know, we've got to praise and critique fairly. I think against Liverpool, it's more the players personally, because, you know, I think on the field, I think there was a defeative mindset. I don't know if it was the fact we played at Anfield. I don't know if we respected Liverpool too much. I don't know what it was, but you know, give credit to Liverpool. They're unbeaten prior to playing us 60 games at Anfield, 61 including us. You know, they need no introduction about their fullbacks and their wide men and the central midfielders. Commiserations to Thiago, who's contracted Corona as well, by the way. And they've got a wonderful manager in Jurgen Klopp to go with, a fantastic support base. So I get it, man. Liverpool and us are in two separate brackets. You know, we're in two separate brackets. They will thump us many times that we play them. But at the same time, you've got to have some self-belief. You know, Liverpool are a great team, you know, borderline, world-class, top-class players, whatever. You know, give them respect and make sure you mark accordingly. But somewhere along the line, you have to stop respecting them. You have to, one, believe in yourself. You have to, two, realise it's a game of football. And three, you know, if these players are really quality players, which they are, make them show it. I don't think we did that. I think Liverpool, in many aspects, were quality. Their game plan was quality. But by the same token, if I'm honest, I didn't think they had much to do. I think we made cheap mistakes, like I said. I think we had a defeative mindset that wasn't there in the Community Shield and at the Emirates. That mentality was for me, in that we're going to respect Liverpool, but we're going to fight for every ball. We're going to try and break forward. I don't think I saw that in the last game. So a lot of it is, for me, is with the players. You know, a lot of it is with the players. That being said, you know, when it goes right, it goes right. When it goes wrong, it goes wrong. And again, injuries, all of these things might play a factor, people. But the bringing in El Nene, now I'm not getting at El Nene, because in a weird way, I don't think he played amazing, but he weren't the worst player in the field. He kind of gave some faith to Arteta, if that makes sense, in that he can have faith in him. I don't think El Nene was poor. I think he got eaten alive like the rest of the midfielders, but I think he was substantially better than Granit Xhaka. At least I could see El Nene, and I'll give credit to Xhaka, because, you know, it's only as good as your last game, but he's had a superb sort of purple patch by his own standards. He was due a bad game, an iffy game. Our midfield they got eaten. You know, I knew he was going to retain faith in Xhaka, and Xhaka's looked a bit more mobile in this system, but you have to credit that. Like I said, El Nene came in, but we all knew, and it's easy to say, it's always the man that's not involved that fans are going to point to, which I'm doing, but we all knew Ceballos had to start, because defending and remaining rigid is one thing, and I hear that and I understand it, but at the same time, you've got to show Liverpool you've got something about you with the ball. El Nene's skill set isn't that. Xhaka isn't that. You know, Ceballos at times spins too much, takes cute touches, but within 2 minutes of being on that Liverpool field, you saw what he can bring to the table. I think he should have done better for the third goal, I believe, where it was out wide, Salah was allowed back on his left, and I think Trent crossed it first time eventually for Jota, who handballed it and put it in the back of the net. But yeah, man, when you look at the you know, not necessarily El Nene, you know, El Nene was the one for Ceballos, but maybe you could even question Xhaka starting in this game, you know, so not including Ceballos. For me in defence, I get it, you know, I get it. I was saying David Luiz needs to come into the fray. I was saying that in my preview, so I get Arteta's thinking. I was saying Tierney left-sided centre-half. I get why he played Holding, because Holding's been in a decent bit of form. We don't really deserve to lose his place. Without knowing about injuries and all these things, I don't understand why Gabriel was dropped. Now, the same result probably would have happened, but you have to mention that without a doubt, and whatnot. And obviously keeping Willian. Now again, you can't flip-flop. Willian's his man. He was superb against Fulham. He was iffy against West Ham. I've previously said, with the competition on the flanks, why you don't want to sort of have a sort of I don't know the right word, but you're flip-flopping every game. It's not healthy. That's good competition. I like the fact that our wide men had targets on their back. Obviously, Aubameyang, he can go a game without scoring. He's a bad boy. But if he's not doing the business, he might get dropped, you know. Lacazette's irrelevant, but Lacazette's been dropped previously. Now, you know, it took him 13 games to reach 3 goals last season. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And he's got 3 out of 3 already in the league. You know, you've got Pepe, you've got Willian, you know, you've got young Bukayo Saka, you've got Reece Nelson who might go on loan. I might be missing someone else out, Gabriel, who's not fit. You've got some superb options, so you've got a target on your back playing in them roles. For me, so while I don't want to see flip-flopping, the minute you're kind of moving iffy as a baller, you have to come out the team, do you get it? And I get why he played, you know, he looked iffy again. He played well against Fulham, he looked iffy against West Ham, forgive me if I'm wrong. So going into this Liverpool game, like I said, that was the toughest choice. Do you go Pepe, Willian or Saka? I wanted Saka to play. You kind of need to play Pepe in these games, but I understood playing Willian. Willian out of the front three was anonymous. You know, we can't get, if we don't get our midfielders into the game, our front men aren't going to do anything, you know, excluding Lacazette's goal. Aubameyang didn't have a shot, I believe, you know, and he should have done better. Same way Lacazette should have scored that chip he attempted. Aubameyang / Eddie should have done better with one of their opportunities. But I'm sure Willian was anonymous. I'm sure he barely had any touches. And, you know, you've got to face the music. If you started Willian off the back of an iffy game and he scored, it's fair play. But you started Willian, he was anonymous. He didn't really touch the ball. He tried to track back, but there was poor marking for at least one of those Liverpool goals from our right-hand side. So these are question marks. You know, one thing I like about Arteta is that he gives everybody a chance. Everybody's time will come. But on the same hands, you know, he's got to really understand there's only certain players you can keep mix and matching in the team. There's some men that have to start. And listen, like I said, the game's been and gone. You know, we focus on, ironically, Liverpool on Thursday before on Sunday, Sheffield United. But for me personally, I think it was a mixture of the selection issues. I think the players defeated themselves before we actually played. Way before we talk about Liverpool's game plan, which was superb. Klopp played us into danger. You know, Klopp's game plan was superb. But at the same time, my honest opinion, and nobody can shoot me for it, I don't think Liverpool were at their best. I think they were quality, but comparing Liverpool I've seen, you know, at their best and running riot, I don't think they were there. I don't think they had to get out of first and second gear, no matter what anyone says. That's my opinion. I really don't think Liverpool had to, you know. The only time there was a bit of a wake-up call is when obviously they conceded the goal. Van Dijk didn't have to do anything and he must have made the most passes. You know, him and Gomez were just practicing their passing range. You know, he kind of kept Salah quiet by his own standards, but that don't make sense because he was involved in at least 2 of the 3 goals. Mane's a savage and I don't know how he didn't get I don't think he should have been sent off, but at least a yellow for the Tierney sort of thing. And how Yotta's one was in a handball, I'm not too sure. But in the same way, like I said, I praise Arteta to high heavens. Like, you don't know me, I make all these videos when we're doing well and whatnot, and I'm not going to flip-flop. He's still my man. I just feel, you know, on a game-by-game basis, you judge and critique fairly, you know. But specific to this Liverpool game, this is what I saw from the players. This is what I saw from Arteta. Last game prior to Liverpool, whatever was said, and we move forward. You know, what's happened now has been and gone. We move forward and we talk about that. And I think too many fans, whether they're YouTubers, whether they're just normal football fans, whether it's pundits on Sky, there's way too many hot takes, there's way too many agendas, there's way too many, like, you've made your bed, you've got to lie in it. Like, there's rarely any balance in football when speaking about football, and it really annoys me these days, people. I'm not going to cap to you lot. It's like, for instance, let's take Arteta. You know, you either have to, some man are just fully already, which I can't believe it, just never believed in Arteta, so he's out there, Arteta out, he needs to go sort of thing. Then there's people who are ridiculously positive about Arteta, and I'm very positive. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Be positive about Arteta, but bordering on delusion. It feels like there's no balance, there's no, yeah, I rate Arteta. He's shown me everything I wanted to see at Arsenal. You know, we've played well, but specific to this Liverpool game, I think he could have done this, that and the other. I think he let himself down with this, that and the other. And the players, there's too many sort of, you've made your bed, you've got to lie in it, when that's not football. Football's consistently evolving. You know, I used to think Kepa was better than Leno. He had a higher reputation in Bilbao. You know, he was doing his thing initially in the Chelsea team. He's been revealed as a fraud. You know, Leno's clear of him. This is football. Now that statement looks stupid, and I'm happy for that with Leno doing that. But this shows you how football changes, and I think fans just need to understand, you know, one thing you said yesterday might not stick. You don't just have to have this one and done mentality. So I retain faith in Arteta, but I'm saying specifically to that Liverpool game, while I can't pinpoint what went right and wrong specifically, and it's down for Arteta and his coaching staff and Arsenal players to go over the game and say their opinions and whatnot. This is what I feel. I believe in Arteta. My support of him doesn't change. I just feel I more blame the players for the Liverpool game. But I'd be lying if I didn't tell you. Listen, when I looked at that lineup and you saw it on my live stream, I was saying there are a bit of a bookie selections here. So there's a lot Arteta's got to learn from, really and truly, in my opinion. Hopefully we can do some business in the transfer market. Personally, I'm not going to hold my breath. We'll have to see what happens, people. I'm going to get out of here, though, man. I don't think I've got anything more to add. People, DG, I'm out.